Act 1, Scene 18. Hester.
Now stop it.
Dysart. Do I embarrass you?
I suspect you're about to.
There's a pause. My wife doesn't understand me, Your Honour.
Do you understand her?
No, obviously I never did.
I'm sorry. I've never liked to ask. I've always imagined you weren't exactly compatible.
She moved to sit opposite. We were. It actually worked for a bit. I mean, for both of us. We worked for each other. She actually for me, through a kind of briskness. A clear red-headed, inaccessible briskness which kept me keyed up for months. Mind you, if you're kinky for northern hygiene, as I am, you can't find anything much more compelling than a Scottish lady dentist.
It's you who are wicked, you know.
Not at all. She got exactly the same from me. Antiseptic proficiency. It's like in those days, we suited each other admirably. I see us in our wedding photo. Doctor and Dr. May Brisk. We were brisk in our wooing, brisk in our wedding, brisk in our disappointment. We turned from each other briskly into our separate surgeries. And now there's damn all.
You have no children, have you?
No, we didn't go in for them. Instead, she sits beside our salmon pink glazed brick fireplace and knits things for orphans in a home she helps with. And I sit opposite, turning the pages of art books on ancient Greece. Occasionally, I still trail a faint scent of enthusiasm across her path. I pass her a picture of the scared, sacred acrobats of Crete, leaping through the horns of running bulls, and she'll say,
Oh, Martin, what an absurd thing to be doing.
"The Highland Games, now there's a normal sport." Or she'll observe, just after I've told her a story from the Iliad, "You know, when you come to think of it, Agamemnon and that lot were nothing but a bunch of ruffians, and the Gauls only with fancy names." He rises. You get the picture. She's turned into a shrink, the familiar domestic monster. Margaret, Dysart, the shrink's shrink.
That's cruel, Martin.
Yes. Do you know what it's like for two people to live in the same house as if they were in different parts of the world? Mentally, she's always become in some drizzly quirk of her own inheriting, and I'm in some Doric temple, clouds tearing through pillars, eagles becoming prophecies out of the sky. She finds all that repulsive, all my wife has ever taken from the Mediterranean, from that whole vast intuitive culture, are 4 bottles of Chianti to make into lamps, and 2 China condiment donkeys labelled Sally and Peppy. There's a pause. Dysart, now more intimately. I wish there was one person in my life I could show. Other instinctive, absolutely unbrisk person I could take to Greece, and stand in front of certain shrines and sacred streams and say, look, life is only comprehensible through 1,000 local gods, not just the old dead ones with names like Zeus. No, but living geniuses of place and person. And not just Greece, but modern England. Spirits of certain trees, certain curves of a brick wall, and certain chip shops, if you like, and slate roofs. Just as of a certain frown in people and slouches, I'd say to them, worship as many as you can see, and more will appear. If I had a son, I bet he'd come out exactly like his mother, utterly worshipless. Would you like a drink?
No, thanks, actually. I've got to be going, as usual.
Really?
Really. I've got an Everest of papers to get through before bed.
You never stop, do you?
Do you?
This boy, with his stare. He's trying to save himself through me.
I'd say so.
What am I trying to do to him?
Restore him, surely?
To what?
A normal life.
Normal.
It still means something.
Does it?
Of course.
You mean a normal boy has one head? A normal head has 2 ears.
You know, I don't.
Then what else? Hester, in a light tone.
Oh, stop it.
No, what? You tell me. Hester, rising, smiling now.
I won't be put on a stand like this, Martin. You're really disgraceful.
There's a pause.
You know what I mean by a normal smile in a child's eyes? And one that isn't, even if I can't exactly define it. Don't you?
Yes.
Then we have a duty to that. Surely? Both of us.
Touché. I'll talk to you.
Dismissed.
You said you had to go.
I do.
She kisses his cheek.
Thank you for what you're doing. You're going through a rotten patch at the moment, I'm sorry. I suppose one of the few things one can do is simply to hold on to priorities.
Like what?
Oh, children before grown-ups, things like that.
He contemplates her. You're really quite splendid.
Famous for it. Good night.
She leaves him. Dysart to himself, or to the audience. Normal. Normal!